Okay, so this is my plant and board setup. Firstly, we have my grow board connected to my computer, which is then connected to my voltage source, which is a battery. That's connected to my MOSFET board. That then follows and goes into my pump that is submerged in water. That then goes to my plant with my moisture sensor inserted. So when my sensor is inserted into the soil, it will give me a voltage reading. That came up with a function to convert the voltage reading into a moisture reading just using a simple y equals mx plus b equation. And then depending on that moisture reading will determine how much water my soil will get. So if it's under this 2.7, then it won't get any water. If it's between 3 and 3, if it's between 3.4 and 2.7, or at 3, then it'll be wet, but not too wet, so we'll get a little bit water. But if it's 3.4 or above, then it will be watered extensively. So we have our main project file loaded. Press button to begin, and we have our moisture sensor in the wet soil currently. So it's reading no watering needed, and our graph is staying constant, and there's no pump. But if we take this out, wipe that off a little bit, it should give us a new reading. Soil is wet, but not wet enough, so it's just going to water a little bit. It corresponds with it watering. The water just goes everywhere, but I hope you can see that this will work. Again, then whenever the pump is on, this light will go on, just to let you know that it's working. Again, that corresponds with that. And hopefully, you can dry this off a little bit more. So now the soil is considered dry because we've dried this off, which would correspond with dry soil. And you can see that this light goes on, and it waters much more than the watering minimum waste state. And this corresponds with a new graph. So this is dry. I'm inserting it into the soil again. We'll make it wet. Soil is wet now, and then that corresponds with the change in the graph. So to address learning outcome 2, I created this loop that says if the voltage is greater than the dry soil voltage, then the pump will be on, it will give you this message. And then in case you can't hear the pump, the LED will also turn on. And then the LED will turn off if you're under this value, and then it will come to this line, and then also to this line where the LED is off. Then if you're in here, then the LED will turn on. So this is my graph to address learning outcome 1. And if you see, this is how my program works. So once you start and define and set all your pins, and then it starts with a button press. So if it's not pressed, then you just go back here, you just press and you continue, and then it reads the soil voltage but converting into moisture, and then goes through all these steps, and then finally, whenever your soil is wet, then it just goes back and then keeps on going through this loop. The main issues I had with this project were related to learning outcome number 5. I wasn't really sure how to plot these things and plot it live, but finding this function helped me out a lot, and then just setting them up I also had difficulty with. It took me a couple tries, but I eventually figured it out.